We've got the brand new Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, so let's find out what makes this camera so special. It's a camera that's seen some of the biggest upgrades on Samsung's new flagship for 2020, and it's not being subtle about it. That camera unit on the back of the Ultra is immense, but weird though it might look, it does offer some cool new features. Much like its predecessor, there are three main cameras: a standard zoom lens, an ultra-wide-angle lens, and a telephoto zoom lens, and it's that zoom lens that's been seriously beefed up here. It's a weird looking lens when you look closely at it, and that's because it's got new optics that give it a huge amount of zoom. In fact, with those optics and its 48 megapixel resolution, it can zoom in up to 100 times. That's an absolutely astonishing level of zoom that, as far as I'm concerned, makes this phone the love child of a Galaxy S10 and the Hubble telescope. I was able to zoom in on a bottle all the way across the room and was able to just about read the label. Pretty impressive considering that with my naked eye, I couldn't even see there was a bottle. Do not expect pin-sharp clarity though. While I could just about read the bottle's logo, there was a huge amount of image noise and other artifacts that meant the image wouldn't end up printed and framed on a gallery wall. At 30 times zoom, the quality looked a lot better. I was using an early sample though, so I'm keen to see how the zoom performs once Samsung's optimized it a bit more, and I'm using it outdoors in daylight rather than zooming in on a dim corner of our demo area. The 100 times zoom is a feature reserved only for the S20 Ultra. If you don't feel the need for getting up close on distant details, then the regular S20 or S20 Plus may be your better options. The main camera sensor has an astonishing 108 megapixel resolution, but it's not just for needlessly detailed images. It can combine 9 pixels into one single pixel that can apparently capture a lot more light. The result is a 12 megapixel image that, even in dark conditions, should come out well exposed. It's important to note though that we haven't been able to put this to the test yet. You can always go into the settings and shoot at the full 108 megapixels if you want bigger, more detailed images. Having extra resolution can give you more scope for cropping into the image later on, although exactly what such high resolution shots from a tiny phone camera sensor look like remains to be seen when we put this thing through its paces. Single capture is a new mode that shoots what looks like about 10 seconds of video and then presents you with a whole variety of different photos and smaller video clips, all shot with different zoom levels and some with different effects like black and white already applied. The idea is that you shoot a little scene in front of you, say someone blowing out candles on a cake, and instead of having to decide in advance to take just one image zoomed right in, you use single capture and it takes a whole variety for you to choose from after you've taken it. You can then select the shots you want to save as they are, or use the software to automatically combine them into a little highlight reel you can instantly share with your friends or family. Is this a killer feature? Well, no, I wouldn't say so, but it's pretty fun and I can see it appealing to people with young families who want to quickly share the fun things their kids have been doing. Video skills have been a particular focus on the new phone. Just when we were all getting to grips with our phone shooting 4K, Samsung ups the numbers to a whopping 8K. Why so many Ks? Well, you can of course just shoot in the maximum resolution for bragging rights if you want. No, the display on the phone isn't high enough resolution to show it off, but you can upload it to YouTube, which supports 8K, or you can play it back on Samsung's 8K TVs if you happen to have spent the small fortune one of those costs. The other benefit is that you can zoom into your footage or take still 33 megapixel images from it. The downside is that those 8K videos will quickly take up space on your phone. A 20-second 8K video came in at almost 200 megabytes, while a 20-second clip in Full HD taken on the Samsung Galaxy Fold was less than a quarter of the size at only 42 megabytes. Best to go for the higher 512GB storage option if you're planning on shooting in max resolution often. Samsung has also added a Pro mode for video that gives you manual control over settings like ISO, shutter speed, focus, and white balance for video, not just for still images. It may have more niche appeal, but if you're wanting to create more cinematic looking footage for your YouTube channel, it's likely you'll get some use out of this mode, although bear in mind that you can't use the maximum 8K resolution in the Pro mode. The video stabilization has also been given a boost apparently with improved hardware and software. It seemed to do a decent job in our brief hands-on time, but it's another feature I'm really looking forward to putting to the test in our full review. Elsewhere, you'll find a 40 megapixel front-facing camera tucked into a little cutout hole on the front, a whopping 6.9-inch display, up to 16GB of RAM, and 5G connectivity for super fast data speeds, which of course you'll need for uploading those massive 8K video files. So lots of exciting new features on this phone. I'm particularly excited to see how that 100x zoom mode actually works outside in the real world rather than just inside a demo area. But for more on the phone, make sure to keep it CNET.com.